You're scrolling, drifting through the endless static of the algorithm, waiting for the signal to cut through the noise. Consider, if you will, that you just found the frequency. You've just stepped off the timeline of the everyday, into the space where the forgotten history and the hidden truths finally touch down. There's the story you know, and then there's the airspace we're about to enter. Check your coordinates, because you're heading towards the landing point. Today's story: when you just need to go. You know the name of the great titans of industry. You know the men who brought us the automobile, the light bulb, the telephone. But today we're going to look at the pioneer whose legacy, well, it's a bit more private. The year is 1847, the place Yorkshire, England. An 11-year-old boy packs up his meager belongings and begins to walk. He walks over 160 miles to London just to find work. And work he found, as an apprentice to a master plumber in Chelsea. Now, you have to understand, in Victorian England, plumbing was not a polite topic of conversation. The streets were foul, disease was rampant, and the idea of bringing waste disposal inside the house was considered by many to be unhygienic and frankly unmentionable. But our young apprentice, let's call him Thomas, saw things differently. Thomas wasn't just a laborer, he was a visionary. He realized that clean water and safe sanitary weren't just conveniences. They were a matter of life and death. By the time he was in his mid-20s, Thomas had struck out on his own. He was a brilliant tinkerer. While he didn't invent the indoor flush toilet, a common misconception, as the honor belongs to Sir John Harington centuries earlier, Thomas perfected it. He held 9 patents. He improved the trap that kept the sewer gases out of our homes. He even invented the floating ballcock valve, a simple, ingenious device that is still sitting inside water tanks all over the world today. But Thomas was more than just an inventor. He was a master marketer. In a time when such bodily matters were kept strictly behind closed doors, Thomas did the unthinkable. He opened a showroom right there on the King's Road with large plate glass windows. He proudly displays porcelain wash basins, bathtubs, and gleaming water closets for all the world to see. Polite society was scandalized. It was said that proper Victorian ladies would literally faint at the sight of the window display. But the publicity worked. Soon the wealthy elites were quietly knocking on his door. Eventually, even the royal family came calling, granting Thomas several royal warrants to outfit the palace of Prince Edward. Thomas had succeeded. He retired a wealthy, respectable man, passing his booming business on to his nephew. But that is not where the story ends. Decades later, the Great War erupts across Europe. Thousands of young farm-raised American doughboys were shipped overseas to England. Many of those boys had grown up with nothing more than an outhouse in their backyard. When they arrived in the UK and used the indoor facilities at the military bases and local establishments, they noticed something. Cast directly into the heavy iron water tank, above the bowl, stamped in bold, unmissable letters, was the name of the manufacturer. When those American boys finally sailed back home, they brought that new vocabulary word with them. When they needed to use the restroom, they simply used the name they had seen proudly stamped on all of those iron tanks in England. It was a name that would echo through history long after the man was gone, because the ambitious young apprentice, the man who brought plumbing out from the shadows and into the modern age, was named Thomas Crapper. And whether you realize it or not, this is The Landing Point. Thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. Our stories come out Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so you can always catch our latest story. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They're a full-service real estate company that can help you with both your real estate, residential and commercial needs, both buying and selling and leasing for the commercial side. If you haven't done so already, please go out to our YouTube page and subscribe so you can get our latest stories that come out. If you want our latest updates, please go to our Facebook page and follow and like that. And then for those of you that enjoy just listening to stories when you're out on the drive, we do have our podcast too that you can hear the same stories. Thank you for listening to today's story, and we'll catch you next time.